In life, there are moments that you won't realize that you'll look back on them as if they were your best days. At the time, it seemed like a normal day to you, but as it slowly came to its end, you have that moment that you never wanted it to end. It felt special, something that you never felt before. And in our lives, we don't always appreciate these moments when they happen. And when we finally take time to do so, it's already too late as we moved on from that memory. Now you must cherish that memory. You can try your hardest to replicate that feeling. The exact people at that exact spot as you remember at that exact location with these specific specs of the weather in the air. However, it won't ever be the same as the first. Iroha, living in the moment. Hello Ninjas, welcome back. It's been a while, I do apologize. Today we explore yet another character with significant development in a movie. Last time we did Princess Vanellope Von Sweet and Wreck-It Ralph and how her fear of belonging drove her away from the crew. In today's character development, we travel to the anime genre. We adventure through the movie Cosmic Princess Kaguya. Today, we're exploring the high school girl Iroha, living alone in Tokyo to be away from her parents due to the trauma and horrible parenting she had as a kid. But when one person enters her life, she never wants it to end. Finally, having someone that wants to be there for you, someone that loves you, that sense of loneliness is daunting. But all you need is that one person that can cheer you up. That is what we are going to be looking at today. The development of Iroha from the beginning of the movie to the very end. We'll look at scenes that include her and deep dive into how this develops Iroha as a character and what it is trying to portray to us, the viewer, and its overall message it wants you to leave with. Before we can begin though, there are some notes I need to address. First off, with every anime video essay, I need to note that I have not read any anime, manga, or story for the adaptations. I've seen only the movies and the TV shows. So, if there is something I enjoyed that wasn't in the manga or the story, don't bash me for liking it. Just explain in the comments what was altered and why I should care about it. The next part's obvious. This is my interpretation and opinion after all. How you view the message could be completely different, and that's okay. Movies are meant to portray many different messages for everyone. If you think there was a different message the movie portrayed, let me know in the comments. And yes, if I correctly mistaken a message from anything in the movie, politely tell me. I can only improve through your feedback after all. Last but not least, this will be similar to the Vanellope development video. 4-second clips or less. So I do apologize for the current day brain rot of switching through clips quickly. I will attempt to use clips that relate to the topic I'm talking about to the best of my ability. I have to for copyright's sake. I do sincerely apologize. I don't want to do it. Trust me, I don't want to do it. But I have to because, I want this YouTube video to actually be shown to people, to the public, and not be private. Now the notes are taken care of, let's explore Iroha's development and deep dive on Cosmic Princess Kaguya, the importance of living in the moment. And yes, I will butcher names. Leave me alone, please. Thanks. As with every development video comes a background information for our character. Iroha is a 17-year-old high school student that struggles to balance her schoolwork, part-time jobs, and living alone in an apartment in Tokyo, Japan. Her relationship with her mother is bad. Ever since she lost her father and her older brother left her, she ran away to live alone and begin a new path in life. Juggling the many responsibilities she has to do now alone, such as getting her own food, cooking her own food, paying for rent by having multiple part-time jobs, excelling in her schoolwork, being a responsible student, saving money to pay for college, and getting her own clothes. Imagine life where you're alone and nobody's there to help you. That's essentially what Iroha is living right now. Rarely would she get any sleep. Even managing 6 hours is a rare sighting for her, as she is working tirelessly every day to make ends meet, following a strict schedule every week to ensure she is on top of everything she is in need of doing. When she has free time, she enjoys playing video games, supporting her favorite idols, and is a talented student and an athlete. In terms of her family, she hasn't texted or called her mother in years, and never interacts with her older brother ever. One thing this movie excels at is foreshadowing, and its storytelling in the songs. The first song, Remember, is one of the 2 songs that we'll need to come back to later on, as once we get further along in the development, it will make more sense when discussing about Iroha's development as a character. So for now, we move to the introduction of Princess Kaguya. At first, she denies taking care of it, not wanting to balance more than what she already has to balance. She doesn't have time or the money to commit to babysitting a child, taking care of her, spending time with her, and ensuring she is parented. She can't juggle that along with school and work, so she hesitates. She already has a busy schedule and wants this weekend off to finally get the break she deserves. But due to the craziness of the bustling city that's Tokyo, she decides that it is best to take care of it, as it isn't safe for her to be out in the open like this. She takes care of her all weekend, going out, buying baby clothing, diapers, and food to caretake her. And suddenly, it begins to grow, and Iroha just can't put her finger on why. And now it's grown into a young girl. When she sees her as a young girl, she experiences denial. She feels this way as it is something she cannot handle at the moment. She doesn't have time nor the money to afford spending some of her savings on treating a young girl who is lost. It isn't that she doesn't want to do it, she just can't muster up the courage to do so due to the past life traumas she had. While they eat a meal late at night, we learn that Kaguya is related to the story of the bamboo cutter. Well, Iroha theorizes that she is a part of the story. The Tale of the Bamboo Cutter. The story explains how Princess of the Moon appears out of a bamboo stalk and is taken in by a father. After some time passes in the story, during the next full moon, she then is taken back to the moon. They fight against the army as much as possible to not allow her to leave, but in the end, it was always destiny's fate to decide. While Iroha explains the story, we can see that Iroha believes that she is the Princess Kaguya, just in the tale she was presenting to her. Kaguya, hating that story, says that she's going to write her own ending. She's going to make her own happy ending and not allow that original ending to be her story. What she says at the end is important for future development. And you are going to be my passenger on this ride to the grand finale. Iroha, already pleased at how her ending is going, refuses. Says that her normal ending of going to college, getting a full-time job, and living alone is a perfectly fine ending for herself. They conclude the night by going to sleep, and in the morning, Iroha tells Kaguya to stay in the apartment as she heads to school. Once school wraps up, she heads to a cafe with her friends until... Yes, Kaguya appears. This is when her official name becomes Kaguya. Iroha never truly gave the name Kaguya to her, she just had the belief that she was the Princess Kaguya. But once her friends asked who she was, she officially called her Kaguya. Seeing that Kaguya refused to do the orders of what Iroha said, she becomes frustrated. And she has some harsh words to say towards Kaguya. This is the first sign of development for Iroha, as many times throughout the movie, she treats Kaguya as how she was treated by her mother. She tells Kaguya to be patient and level-headed, a similar expression to what her mother once told to herself actually. Eventually Kaguya begins to use Iroha's hard-earned money, which frustrates Iroha more and more. But when she gets a taste of what she made for dinner, she's surprised. Kaguya did use her money. It is true, she did use the money to make all that great meal, 3-course meal with the eggs and the protein and all the carbs and everything. But she bought ingredients to make her a well-cooked meal. Yes, it did stress her out, but she's feeling conflicted because she's stressed out that Kaguya was using her money and that she was saving for tuition and she was trying to, get her future plan up ahead. But at the exact same time, it felt as if a sense of relief and comfort washed over her. She has been working tirelessly to pay for tuition so much that she hasn't had a meal that good in such a long time. She's been eating the same regular food she has to eat every single day to meet ends meet. So to have such a wonderful meal for once feels rewarding. Because she doesn't want Kaguya to be taken by anyone, she allows her to live with her until someone picks her up with some strict rules. Don't stand out, don't go outside without permission, don't get in her way, and pay for your own food. Kaguya, just wanting to live life and explore this new opportunity she has available to her, hates these standards that Iroha has presented. It makes her feel as if she's locked inside of a cage. She feels isolated. She feels like she's not able to freely be herself. But unfortunately, she has to oblige because she has nowhere else to go. During these conversations, Iroha begins to get flashes of her younger self through Kaguya. Playful, exciting, curious, and happy, wanting to do so many things and love all of it. That's exactly who Iroha was as a kid. She wanted to do those things, but slowly her mother never really allowed her and she never really got along with her parents. We head to the virtual world of Tsukuyomi, where everyone is a creator and everybody can be who they want to be, design their own characters to their own liking. Iroha appreciates this world as it allows her to enjoy everything it has to offer. Her favorite creator Yachio, an AI singer, artist, and one of the leaders of the virtual world, also resides here. The concert begins as Yachio sings Starry Sea. This is also the other song that will make more sense when we get further into the development of Iroha. At the conclusion of the song, Yachio announces the Yachio Cup, a month-long event where the streamer with the most new followers at the conclusion of 30 days will get an opportunity to collaborate with Yachio in a concert. During this announcement, we meet a pivotal character in the movie, Black Onyx, Iroha's older brother. He is the most popular streamer in Tsukuyomi. Kaguya, fearing absolutely no one, shouts that she will win the competition and begin streaming. After that fiasco, as they leave, Yachio says, "Thank you so much for always coming here, Iroha," signaling yet again another foreshadowing moment. Iroha, determined to have a good summer, creates a schedule that she must follow to meet ends meet. Kaguya, upset, becomes annoyed. But hey, on the bright side, she began streaming. Although, Iroha does not quite like it. She doesn't like it because of how much stuff is in the freaking apartment. It's a damn small apartment after all, alright? And all this stuff that she's been buying, it's starting to clog up the area now. And she gets even more annoyed when Kaguya mentions to her that she was using her keyboard for the outro of the stream, which then becomes even more frustrating for her. Kaguya then asks her if she could teach her how to play it. As she begins the lesson, she begins to get flashbacks of her past life. Breaking objects, eerie noises, the campfire sizzling. It then proceeds to cut to a moment between her father and herself playing the keyboard, with the father saying, "Music is something you should enjoy freely. Emphasis on the enjoy!" The reason why she was hesitant to play the piano for Kaguya was because of the past experiences she had to face. Her mom tells her that in order to play the piano, you need flawless work. No distractions. Nothing. But she viewed it as something that is a fun side hobby she can enjoy. Her mother viewed it as a potential way to become big. Be her job when she grows up. Iroha never viewed it as that. So she told her mom that she does not want to play the piano anymore. And then when Kaguya asked her to play the piano, she had that hesitation because she's never done it ever since she stopped doing it. And she's always seen it as her mother wanting her to make it the career for herself. But she never wanted it to be like that. She just wants to play freely. We all have hobbies. We all have these types of interests that we just want to do for fun. Video games, music, art, maybe draw something, etc., etc. There's these things we want to do for ourselves that we just want to enjoy. We don't want to try and make it a big career or anything. We just like to do it because we love it. Because it makes us happy, makes us satisfied. And it gives us memories that we can look back on later down the line. That's exactly what Iroha wanted to do with the piano. She just wanted to make it enjoyable. And that's what Kaguya wanted to see from her. And during this, you can see the excitement that Kaguya had for waiting for Iroha to start playing the piano. And because of her doing that, she now has the availability to play the piano and be able to freely enjoy herself. Kaguya allowed her to reopen that door to allow her to do the things that she wanted to do ever since she was a kid. But she had to shelf it due to the past life traumas that her mother had on her. During these two interactions in the beginning portion, we can see that Iroha focuses more on the future rather than now. She continuously reminds Kaguya that she has a life outside of hers, working part-time jobs, going to school to get a degree, buying groceries, buying clothing, and living an overall busy life. She sticks to the schedule she has. She hardly gets any sleep, all to just stay in the apartment to get away from the parents. Iroha never thinks about what she can do at the moment. She just thinks of what's ahead and uses that free time to mainly play video games or supporting her idols. There isn't anything wrong with that. You can freely do that to whoever you please. It's just that it's something we should never do consistently. We should be using our time in the present to make it the best it could possibly be. You can still play video games in the present time. There's nothing wrong with that. But if there's something that's on your mind that you have to do, that you're pushing off later and later and later, just do it now. Because then, once it gets to that moment, you're not going to want to do it again. You're going to just want to keep pushing it back and back and back until it's too late. Until either you have to do it, or you can't do it at all. And that's something we should not be viewing life as. We should be viewing life as an opportunity to do all these things for the current time right now. Never push off anything for what could be done today specifically. After all, we only have one life, so make sure you make it count. This can be illustrated in the song Watashi wa. We see Kaguya destined to win the cup, as Iroha just worrying about her busy life. Iroha doesn't want to do anything with her to the point where she has to put on a fox costume in the virtual world to not draw any attention to herself, even changing her username to Iropi, just knowing that no one knows who she is. There are a few song lyrics that help build Iroha's future development, so let's go through them. In the beginning of the song, we see Kaguya say, "What's the sense in worrying? Just move on, right?" Kaguya refuses to believe that there are problems she would need to face. She thinks that there are different routes and ways to approach it rather than finding a fork in the road and just not doing anything about it. Another lyric that helps enforce this is, "Let's disrupt the rules for how we live our lives." This lyric portrays that we shouldn't be forced into the usual system that our lives enter in. We should forge our own path and find ways to make it fun. You shouldn't be forced into something that you were never wanting to do in the first place. We should determine how we create our life. Why should we allow others to forge it? Allow me to make my own. Think out of the box, color outside the lines. When there's an issue, you find ways to pass it. Think outside the box. What wasn't intended? How should this go? What if I do this, then go there? There's not a set route, but there are separate routes that allow you to hit the one route that you want to go through. There's no set direction. Choose how you want to get there. Kaguya says this in one of the lyrics. "Let's repaint the world in our design. You create the decisions. Nobody else gets to choose how your life should be going." At the tail end of the first verse, we see that Iroha is questioning herself as to why she's helping Kaguya so much. It isn't like her to help someone out and help lead them to their goal, so why is she doing this? She never had someone in her life do it for her. Why is she doing all this when she knows there is an award at the end of the rainbow? Actually, Dells, she gets to have a concert with Yachio. Yeah, I know that, but that doesn't mean she was going to do it. Let's not forget the beginning of the cup being announced. Iroha had no faith Kaguya nor herself was going to win the cup, let alone compete for it. Now then, can we get on with the video, please? The second verse is upon us, but have you noticed that Iroha is becoming more and more happy? Roka and Mami, good friends of Iroha, have slowly begun to notice that she's being more appreciative of what she has in the moment because of Kaguya. On to the second verse. There are some more lyrics we need to delve into, so let's get into it. Instead of giving up when a what if comes around, I want a what if to be a break you found. Don't think it's a waste, never to fly, keeping your feet on the ground. Here shows what Iroha has been doing towards Kaguya. She never believes that she ever has time to do the things Kaguya wants her to do, and achieving that goal of winning the Yachio Cup. But with determination and not giving up, Kaguya finds ways to get Iroha to help her achieve the goal. Iroha isn't one to say no. She just doesn't want to interfere with her schedule of school and job work. But she caves in many times because she knows she does have the time to actually do it. She just doesn't want to do something that cuts into her own free time. Whenever she has free time, it is a treasure as she'll rarely ever get it with her already busy life. Nothing isn't truly impossible. Iroha does have time to do it and still have time to go to work and do her schoolwork and still have her free time available. The first sign of Iroha changing is when Kaguya contacts her boss to say that she fell ill and needs the day off. They, obviously, happily oblige. Iroha, shocked, appreciates this. She never once took time off because whatever money was accessible, she would take it. She needed it for the painful reason I've already mentioned. So to finally get time off felt special. She felt nervous that they'd fire her if she ever took a shift off at any moment in time. This begins the change in emotions for Iroha as she proceeds to then explain her family struggles to Kaguya, opening up slowly over time to her. She never took time off because it was for future planning. Emphasis on the word future. She made the schedule, she took those jobs, she put in the work to have the money to afford college. She wants that scholarship. If she was to ever take a day off, her entire planning ahead is now in jeopardy as it could mess up in gaining the money she needs for college and for the tuition in the end. The reason why she began to live alone was for the ability to freely make her own decisions instead of being forced to do things by her mother. If her mother could do it, why wouldn't she be able to do it? She didn't want to rely on others, she wanted to take care of herself, giving that sense of confidence that she needed in her life. Iroha is finally beginning to open up? Surely this won't back. Oh my gosh, they're still arguing! But wait! It isn't the reason you'd expect. You know how we have these opinions that we never budge on? Or insecurities that refuse to believe the actual reasoning? One may believe that this was intended, it cannot be fixed. But when someone tells you that it can be fixed and explains how, you refuse to acknowledge it because it's something you don't want to accept. You're just fine being alone, but you feel off about it. Kaguya wants to fight Black Onyx to fight for the top spot, but Iroha won't allow it because she doesn't want to come face to face with her big brother. She continues to believe it was his fault for leaving her with her mom, because in the flashbacks, we've seen that her big brother went to go to Tokyo for a week, leaving her the only supportive piece of her life, along with a person that she's not got along with ever. So it forced her to move out and just live on her own because of that. We can further explore this tension between the siblings when they face each other in the big event right before the cup concludes. If Black Onyx wins, Kaguya must marry him. If Kaguya wins, Black Onyx will do anything they request. When the reveal happens, we can see Black Onyx says some harshful but truthful words towards Iroha. He reads, "You both take things too seriously. That's why you don't get along. Mom's just waiting for you to screw up." The first exchange of words shows how much knowledge the older siblings have than the younger siblings don't. They fear rejection, they fear being wrong. But what the older siblings saw is that they never settled the truth. They just refused to be in the wrong. They overthought the choices they said and what it could lead to. Black Onyx then says that she should have handled the situation better than just running away and living her own life. As round 3 begins, we get ourselves another flashback. Reminder, in the first round exchange, the older siblings said that both of them took things too seriously, which is what happened in this scene. In the flashback scene, a young Iroha just being fine with giving things away if someone was to ask for it. She didn't know what to say, but then the older brother swooped in and stopped the fighting to resolve the conflict. She felt appreciated since she had someone who supported her. She's able to bond with the older brother since he understands the struggles Iroha was facing at the time. But when the older brother leaves to go to Tokyo, she loses the trust. She doesn't have anyone to back her up. She's all alone now with someone that she's never gained trust from and has really bad relations with. Resuming the fight in present time, we can see more truthful words by Black Onyx, saying that she gets way too emotional way too quickly, saying that she never tries to resolve issues. Instead, she gives up and begins crying because she believes it won't work out in the end. It won't work out in her favor. Iroha says that she's being useless right now, but doesn't want to give up. After she says that, Yachio swoops in and says, "You are never alone," reminding her that she has support to fight this battle. She for once has people to bring her up and back up her talk. She never had this as her bigger brother left to head to Tokyo and her mother never cared about her at all. Finally, in an act of teamwork, they successfully take down Black Onyx, and as he begins to respawn, he says to Iroha, "I knew you could do it," signaling that he never wanted to be Iroha. He wanted to make this battle to portray a feeling of success, what she couldn't accomplish in her past life. She did all this working, taking away sleep, working endlessly to just meet ends meet. She never felt happy in her life due to living alone, not having anyone help her succeed. And when she won that fight, she felt happy. She felt accomplished. Something she thought wasn't possible was. She now feels cared for. Iroha now sees what Kaguya means to her, feeling happy that someone understands her, someone that wants her to succeed, and someone that understands her struggles because Kaguya is going through the same thing as her. As the final round concludes, we see Iroha in a more happy state, as she's finally felt something she never had before. Appreciation. Having a genuine good friend is what she needed after all of what she has done for the past few years. This is where things start to get interesting. This is where Iroha's development begins to fully ascend, as we learn lessons of the story. Take note of what Yachio says here. She says, "Now then, as we reach the climax of our story, from here on out, things might get a little intense. I sincerely hope you'll follow our tale to the very end." After successfully winning the Yachio Cup, they now head to the concert. And as the concert is about to begin, Iroha asks Yachio a question about her debut song, Remember. "Your debut song, Remember. Why don't you sing it anymore?" Yachio replies with, "That song's job is already done. It's found its proper place," further foreshadowing the inevitable end. Just be patient, and I'll explain that song in the Starry Sea soon. We still have some more development first to handle. As Yachio begins the concert, she gives out a warm welcome with some thoughtful words. "Even if the journey gets lonely, the memories of happier times will light your way and guide your path," stating that the darkest times will fade away as long as you find that path of success. It just takes that one happier moment to lead you to the path you want in the end. Speaking of happier moments, Yachio then says, "I want to make this a memory you will never forget." This is something special for both Kaguya and Iroha. They both love Yachio, so to be able to sing with her feels like a well-deserved reward. After going through the battles of having to earn that spot, now they earned it. And Yachio promises it will be something that they will cherish till the end of time. In the concert, 2 songs are sung. The first one is World Is Mine, which has some important developmental lyrics that we need to delve into, specifically the meaning of the song. The lyrics of this song goes to the story of how we are at this moment in time, when Kaguya entered Iroha's life, mentioning how she's the #1 princess and how she had a new look, new hairdo, all of it. It also mentions the selflessness that Iroha was having towards Kaguya at the start, how she only cared about herself and her goals, not wanting to be a part of Kaguya's success, until she's turned it around and felt proud of joining her journey. Things get really interesting when we move on to the second song. I'm calling it EX so I don't terribly pronounce the name of the actual song. Look, right, I butcher names throughout this video, but I'm not butchering the songs, alright? I'm not testing that. No. Hey, you only get one go around, so you better live right here, right now. You only get one life, you know. You may think this is about Kaguya, which is true. Don't get me wrong, that is true. The lyric does relate mostly to Kaguya, but it also talks about Iroha, how she isn't living in the moment. She doesn't realize that she can enjoy what she has now instead of worrying about what is coming up and having to spend her valuable years right now to get what she wants for the future. She should be enjoying the time right now and stop worrying about all the factors that isn't an issue at the current moment. Live your life to the fullest and don't think about what is coming up. Just relax and have fun. You don't have to go and think about the future saying, okay, I need to get this money and this money, this money, this money to get this specific thing to happen. You're not there yet. All you need to worry about is what the current moment is giving you. You should enjoy what they're offering to you instead of trying to worry about what's going to happen in the future, because you don't know what's going to happen in the future until it actually happens. So why don't we just lay low for a little bit? Let's think about the present time right now and let's make it the best it could possibly be. We travel to the firework festival and Kaguya shares her perspective on all of this. It gets lonely and boring, having to repeat the same things every day. It was killing me. Finally, I'd have enough. I wanted to go somewhere, anywhere. I looked out the window into your world, at all the people doing whatever they pleased. Their lives were complex, fleeting, and best of all, free. But I could tell they were also holding back their emotions, waiting for something important. Sounds exactly like Iroha's situation, which is something Iroha never viewed it through. She never had someone that was going through the same thing as her. But now with Kaguya only going through the same boring routine just like Iroha showed the value of living free. Living the way you want to be. It wasn't ever about leaving her homeland on the moon. She just needed a break from doing the same repetitive things. She didn't come here because she wanted to leave her actual life. She just needed a break from the moments that she's been dealing with over and over and over again. She couldn't stand it anymore. She needed some type of short-term break that can allow her to reset herself and feel more pleased and taking the opportunities that she owes for herself, that she feels earned. That's why she was so happy during all of this. She felt appreciative for the moments that she had available to her right now. And that's what Iroha never really thought of until Kaguya arrived. She felt happier because she had somebody to spend time with, somebody that understands what she had to go through, someone who can be trusted. And that is something that is hard to come by with the act of loneliness. You don't have anyone to vent your emotions to. You don't have anyone that can let you blur out all your anger, your frustrations, your problems, and the issues you are facing. What you need is just one person. That one person creates such an impactful punch to you, to the point where you can finally unlock that door that was shelved for so long due to the trauma you faced because nobody ever understood your perspective. Nobody ever understood what you were going through. But because now Kaguya went through the exact same as Iroha, she finally understands all of this. This is all brought together once Kaguya asks if she loves her mom. She says that she doesn't know. She thought that would be easier to hate her, but in reality, it isn't. She doesn't know how to fix a relationship between one another, so she never called back and gave up. She went on to her own life. She didn't have someone to show her the problems she was facing. The anxiety of what if I mess it up again? What if it goes wrong again? She never had someone that understood her struggles, so finding out that she's heading home soon hurts. Losing something that means so much to you hurts. And it's happened to all of us. We never want to let go of the good times. We want to be able to freely enjoy it as much as possible. She begins to feel grief, refusing to allow her to leave. She can't accept another person this important to her to leave her life again. You are too crazy and chaotic. Sounds like her again. Then Kaguya says, that's how it should have ended. That's the ending for me, enjoying every second as I charge towards destiny. Iroha now knows that she doesn't have much time left with her, and now wants to spend the current times with her as much as possible. Kaguya makes one more request, and that request is to spend more time with Iroha. But she wants to sing with Iroha. Kaguya suggests that they should head home before it's too late, as Kaguya now has limited time left, and Iroha now knows this and wants to spend as much time with her as possible. She never realized that she was living her best times right now. She finally realized when it was too late. All this time she was doing her busy life that she didn't even know that she was in the best moments of her life. And now knowing this, she needs to find a way to make it the best last days of this to truly make it a memory. This entire time, she was focused on herself rather than what was available to her at the time. She worked all these hours, all these times, just to ensure that she makes it to college. But she never realized that her best days were right here because of Kaguya. Kaguya showed her that life isn't always about the future. It's about enjoying the present now and making it as much as possible to be the best it could possibly ever be. The next few days, she stays up countless nights, countless days, eating microwave after microwave food, wanting to finally succeed at the song she shelved for many, many years ago. The reason why was because she and her father were working on the song together, and once her father passed away, she couldn't find the passion to write songs without her mentor, someone who admired her creativity. As she was listening to the melody, she noticed something odd. She re-listens to the melody to the beginning portion of the song, and noticed that it's the same melody as Remember. Wondering what it meant. Why is it the same melody to something that has no correlation with me? We will answer that soon. We arrived at the graduation song that Kaguya sings as she exits this wonderful life and re-enters her old, regular, boring life on the moon. In the song, it encapsulates the journey both Iroha and Kaguya went on. No matter what tomorrow holds, let's live in the moment so we can smile and joy unfolds. Kaguya states that in life, we don't know what tomorrow is going to give us. We can plan things ahead, but we won't know what will happen till we get to that moment. She's saying that right now is the moment to be in. We can smile and allow the joyness of ourselves to unfold into new opportunities, making it the best it could possibly be. Make every second count. You have 24 hours in a day. Make every single second of those 24 hours the best it could possibly be. Make that day worth it to the point where you will have the memory of that day, of that exact second, of that exact minute, of that exact time you did it, with that exact correlation to everything. You get to determine how the day goes, not no one else. The next lyric that correlates towards Iroha reads, "When 1,000 years are gone and 10,000 fade from sight, still this second lives on forever, shining through the night. A time to start anew and a time when things are through, and it gently warms my heart." These lyrics help shape what we should be doing with ourselves. We know that destiny's already decided, but destiny doesn't choose how we get there. We get to decide how we use our life, and that's what Kaguya teaches. It isn't about the future or the past, it's the now, it's the present moment, enjoying what we have left, and how we can make it the best times through our own memories. And so what if we didn't enjoy the moment? That's fine, you can still make new ones and reflect on the memories of the most fun times you've loved for so long. Even when the years go by, you can still reflect on the good times you had. That's what Kaguya valued, making the moments you have right now the best it could possibly be. No stopping, no holding things for later, no pushing things off for tomorrow. Do it right now, as you may not have the ability to ever do it again. Saying goodbye is hard, and all good things end. So make the most of it while you can. Make yourself as many memories as possible with the one life you have on this world. The final words Kaguya says to Iroha is, "Don't forget, Iroha, I love you." And now realizing that she left, she can't accept that she left. For days, she isolates herself in her apartment, not going outside, or going to school, or going to a part-time job. She just can't live without someone that meant so much to her, since it showed her the value of having someone on your side, someone that is living the same life as you, someone that gets your problems, and just wants to find ways to resolve it without messing it up again. She attempts to go about her life like it was before Kaguya arrived, but something fell off with her. "Kaguya, you may not be with me, but I'll carry you in my heart forever." Wait a second, why does this ending feel off? I feel like there's something missing. And so did Iroha. Determined to not end her story here, she heads home to write the song she wanted to finish, staying up night after night, taking shifts off, speaking to her mom for the very first time, wanting to complete this song. She finally feels important in life that she finally covers the paths that were once roadblocks that she never wanted to restore. But now, with Kaguya in her memory, she finally has that courage to restore those roadblocks she once had. She finally talked to her mother. She finally was talking to her older brother. She finally felt the courage to do the things that she was never able to do prior because of the past traumas. In the song she sings to Kaguya, she says, "We can keep ourselves surrounded by the love we find in everyday things," signaling that what Kaguya did to her was to value the everyday things we don't usually appreciate. It finally all paid off. She understands now how to live in the moment. Now he gets the part where Starry See and Remember is now impactful to the story. At the conclusion of the movie, Iroha learns that Yachio is Kaguya, but 8,000 years old. She heard the music of Iroha, but her pod collided with an asteroid, sending Kaguya into a world that was 8,000 years old. And only Inudoge was able to escape, so she had to navigate through those struggles. Iroha asks where her Kaguya is. Yachio says that it is a cycle, one of a destiny that cannot escape, expressing that she cannot control the fate that has already been decided. She can try her hardest to alter it, but in the end, this is how it was meant to be. As she learns what Yachio went through, Iroha begins to feel sleepy, and passes out due to sleep deprivation. When she goes through the life of Kaguya, she finally realizes why Yachio was always smiling. It was because she was the Kaguya that went through those thousands of years to come back to Iroha and spend time with her. She went through those thousands and thousands of years to finally be able to see her Iroha, because she heard that song from Iroha and wanted to come back and see her, but because the pod colliding and everything. So the build up for her was to finally see her for the very first time since then. And now she can finally forever be able to spend time with her and see what made her happy and the reason why she went back after all those years. To further support this, in the song Remember, it teaches the value of living in the moment, saying, "I'm missing you again. I'm wanting to see your smiling face again." She hasn't seen Iroha in so long, she can't wait to see each other for the first time in a very, very long time. Mind her, 8,000 years is pretty damn long! In our hearts, we've all got a song. It's a precious melody, straight from your soul, singing so sweet, and never stops like a heartbeat. It just keeps driving away. These lyrics help bring the theme all together, as in, hey, I missed you so much, and now that I'm here, I can finally see you again. The times we enjoyed one another is so powerful, I can make even more memories with you. This is also supported by lyrics in Story C. This is when Yachio finally gets to see Iroha since they first met so long ago. I waited for you. I can't believe we finally met. It must have been 1,000 years, and now I never want to lose you. So let's grab my hand and don't let go. This encompasses the journey that Iroha once went on between her and Kaguya, saying that don't fall behind, I don't want to lose you again, and now that I'm here, we can forever be with each other. This song gives a new adventure, new opportunities for Iroha and Kaguya, for new moments that they can create together. So no matter when, and no matter where you might be, you'll know that I'll be watching over you. Go on and count up all the days when you laughed so hard, and you can weave them all together now. And even the thought of what our future will bring is sure to have my heart singing, and it will all come true. I'll write my story and journey on with you. This entire time, Iroha didn't know that she was about to enter a fond memory she never wanted to lose. Something she didn't want to let go. But with the power of Kaguya, she was able to hold onto that memory for a lifetime. And even when that journey ends, she can start anew with Yachio. There isn't an end as there are new beginnings. In life, there's endings and there's beginnings. Fates can decide the ending of that specific journey. You can't decide it. Of course, if it's something like you're going to a family vacation, there is an ending because you have to go back. I get that. But inside of that vacation, you don't know what's going to happen. And during those things, you can make it the best it could possibly be. You might have a moment that you loved during then that happened on day 2 to day 4 because you created that beginning. You created that journey that happened because of you. The beginnings are decided by yourself. The ending is by fate. You can't obviously decide the ending. That's just is what it is with that. But that doesn't mean you can't start the beginnings. You get to pick the pathing of how you want to make your journey go through. And that's totally okay. And that's how we make life so valuable for all of us. Because we get to pick the beginnings and allow fate to pick our endings. Heading back to the ending portion of the movie, Yachio and Iroha have some important and wise words. Iroha says, "You know, I grew up too. I was even able to talk to my mom. Even after Kaguya left, it was a perfectly happy ending. And now the story is over." And then it brings back to remember, to re-remind them about the moments they made when they first met, to them singing together all the way up to now. At the end, they stick by their side for a full decade, as they finally figured out the technology to rebirth Kaguya. Okay, maybe rebirth is not the best word, it's more reincarnation, but either word works, I feel like. And the movie concludes with a song after bringing Kaguya back to the real world. In life, you create your story. You forge your path, but how you create the story is up to you. There may be roadblocks along the way, but with those roadblocks comes new opportunities to still find your story's inevitable end. You create the moments along the way. Don't think about what is ahead of you. Think what is available to you at the moment right now. Live in that moment because at any point, it could be gone forever, and it fades into a memory you can only remember. Love the things that are around you every day, and cherish those as it could mean so much to you. The values of everyday things can do so much that you will not realize until it's too late. It's what Kaguya said that helps bring Iroha's story to its end. No matter what tomorrow holds, let's live in the moment so you can smile and joy unfolds. You don't know what's ahead of you, nor will you know what will happen to you, but you do know what you can do right now. And that is to create a story that you will never forget. It's the same for your story, right? For now, this is the end of our story. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. My longest video yet, but a powerful message for my favorite movie of all time. I watched this last Thursday and I was in total shock of how empowering this movie was and its overall message that I had to make a video on it. I am so glad I did, as now I can hopefully continue this into many more videos. I am deeply sorry for missing all of June. I am never attempting to use Adobe ever again until I'm either confident enough to make the switch or my PC can run better in the app, because my goodness, does it suck when it doesn't respond. It's so fucking annoying. Next Friday, we will head back to this movie as I want to make a deep dive video on Princess Kaguya. Tails, didn't you already talk about Kaguya's development in this video? Well, not all of it. Kaguya's development was so different from Iroha's that it deserves its own video. Also, if you haven't seen this movie, please give it a watch. It is such a great movie with a powerful message. All credit goes to the directors for making this movie and Netflix itself. The credit links will be at the end credits screen. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, share this video to your friends, subscribe to me, enjoy my videos, hit that little bell so you get notified when I upload and go live. Thanks for sticking by with me as I have all let you down, but with this newfound confidence, I hope I can bounce back. Thank you again for watching. This Ninja Joe signing out. Peace!